You tweeted one of the underreported reasons conspiracy theories take hold is because some of them are true. What conspiracy theories do you believe that are sort of important for people to think about, would you say?
Kennedy was not killed by a lone gunman with no connections to any other situation, government, I believe that JFK was removed from office by a group of people that had very different interests. But
this is the question of like deep state. So these are powerful people that are able now to dictate through basically the threat of violence what the presidents, the surface powerful people in our society.
Yeah, I mean, I want another investigation into 9/11, not because I think that George Bush pressed a button and made 9/11 happen, but because we invaded the country of Iraq, and then we, 15 out of 19 hijackers were from Saudi Arabia. There was tons of stuff in the 9/11 report that didn't make sense to anybody. There's tons of stuff about that day that I feel like we just don't know.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. That's when my little ant life touched upon conspiracy theory world and first learned about Alex Jones.
Right.
Is when 9/11 happened. It was very frustrating to me how poorly the reporting and the transparency around what exactly happened, who knew what, all that kind of basic information that you would hope the government would release, reveal, and use as like a lesson for how we prevent this. Instead, it felt like a lot of stuff was being hidden in order to manipulate some kind of machine that leads us to war.
Yeah, that's fair to say. Yeah, I mean, I just don't feel like we've gotten the full story. I don't know what the full story is.
Right.
I can't. I don't know what it is, but I don't feel like we've gotten the full story. There are groups of powerful pedophiles, right? Whether they're in the Catholic Church or they're in the government or wherever they are are able to cover things up that they do. They're able to silence people that try to out them in terms of like, disrupt their operations. That's true. QAnon has nuggets of truth. It just went crazy. Any conspiracy theory that involves the Knights Templar and also Chrissy Teigen is probably wrong.
What's the Knights Templar?
Well, it was just this group of knights back in the day. It's that, supposedly secret meetings. And like in every conspiracy, they talk about like, if you go deep enough, it's like the Knights Templar, the Rosicrucians, all of these secret groups throughout history, the Illuminati.
And there's a thread that connects all of it.
Yes. It connects it all to David Spade. I mean, it's a little much.
Well, how do you, if you're David Spade, defend yourself, by the way?
You ignore it because it's hilarious. And I know David Spade. It's like Hollywood's kind of boring. Yes, there are sex orgies. I'm not invited. I'm sure there's shit going on. Kids do get abused. Women get abused. Men get abused.
I'll invite you to one.
Please.
If you want.
We got the $75,000 dog. And then we'll get one. But, me and David Spade, we go out to sushi restaurants, and you sit there and you listen to people complain. That's what a lot of it is. What a lot of Hollywood is deeply sad tragedy that people don't understand that some of it is nefarious and dark, and there are problems and there are real power brokers here. It's a dark town, 100%. But the idea that everybody that lives here is in some wide-ranging, vast conspiracy isn't true. It ignores how humdrum, boring, deeply sad most people's lives are in Hollywood, and it ignores how sad fame is in general. Yeah. Fame's a sad thing. Not always, but a lot of times it's a sad thing. It's fleeting. It's ephemeral. It doesn't last. It separates you from other people. It's isolating. It can be traumatic depending on what's going on. Obviously, it's better than the alternative. If you're trying to be famous, it's better to be famous than not famous, right? I'll say that. But it's a mixed bag to a degree. There are things about it that aren't great. And Hollywood has a deep undercurrent of sadness of people that have not realized their dreams and people that have realized them.
Yeah,
both,
dark, right?
Both of those people.
It's like the people that win Olympic gold medals can sometimes suffer from depression.
Correct.
They've lost.
Well, somebody said, and I forget who said it. It's a great quote. It's not mine. I think it's from a book, or it might be from a TV show. Sometimes they quote something and they're like, "That's from like Charlotte's Web." I'm like, oh. The two worst things are I think it's from the movie Limitless. I'm like an idiot. But anyway, thanks for having me on. Tomorrow he's done like some genius. I will not
publish this.
It's from the movie, and I think he says the two worst things in the world are not it's not from Limitless. I think it's from the movie where Nicolas Cage sold weapons. It was called Lord of War. It's a little better than Limitless. Anyway,
That's a good movie.
it's a great movie.
Yeah.
He said the two worst things in the world are not getting what you want and getting it. So the undercurrents of sadness that run through Hollywood are they're two rivers that converge, and they are people that just never had it and people that have it and go, now what? And so it's a sad place, a tragic place. And there's a lot of, it's boring. That's what people don't realize. Is like, it's actually kind of boring.
Well, life is kind of boring.
Life is kind of boring. But there's also like, so I think QAnon's this way to make a lot of it seem like it's super exciting. And listen, I don't want to diminish the experiences of people who've been abused here because there is a lot of horror here.
Yeah.
But the whole QAnon thing was like everybody in everything is doing, and that's not true.